Welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. Y'all, it's about 100 degrees out here today. It's actually in the low 90s right now, but it's going to get up to close to 100 degrees. And something I want to talk about real quick with you. Just a little short video today, y'all, because I am not going to be out here in this extreme heat and humidity trying to do anything crazy out here in this heat. It's not good. It's not good to do that if you can help it, if you don't have to. We're going to talk about keeping your animals as cool as possible, especially if you live down south like us, when it is extremely hot and extremely muggy. Y'all, we've been having summertime, late summertime in spring. It's not even officially summer here in North Carolina. And we have had unseasonably warm weather since mid-May, probably even early May, but especially here lately. But let's go down and check on the pigs real quick, and we'll show you what we're doing for them to kind of keep them as cool as possible when it's so hot. We'll go down here and take a look at Samson first, because Rosie, I heard her as soon as I shut the gator off doing those low grunts. She's in there nursing the babies. Give Samson a little bit of corn to entertain him. I always give him just a little treat when I come down here if it's not feeding time. Now, Samson, you'll notice there is a ton of shade back here in the woods, and that helps, y'all. But when it's 100 degrees and then you got heat index to make it feel like 110 plus, and you got 65, 75, 85% humidity at times, your hogs will get hot. They don't sweat like humans. You'll notice they have wallers in here. Samson has two that he formed on his own. Didn't need a tractor to come in and dig a hole. You might have to somewhere you live at, but if they can root, they'll make them a waller. And they'll find the best spot most of the time to do that. If there's no wet areas in your pasture, you may find that they make one up near where you water them at. And that's not always really good. But he's got holes dug out. If you look down here underneath his shelter, hogs, they'll dig them out a hole because it's cooler. And they can get their body inside of that, and it helps them to make more contact with the dirt and stay cooler. Now Dixie here, she's got two nice wallers. Actually, she has multiple wallers out here in this pasture. And y'all, the section that she's in, it's really large. You can't see it all from the camera. All you see is right up here where we feed her at. Now you notice right here in front of her water, she's made a waller. Not convenient, but they're gonna do that from time to time. It's not a bad idea to put some concrete down in the front of your water to kind of help prevent that. I've just never done it. If you look over here, there's a nice big waller over here. And when it rains, y'all, it fills up like a good swimming hole. And she'll get out there, one whole side of her body is mud right now, because she'll get out there and she'll lay in that. She'll look like a hippo sometimes if it's deep enough. Just her nose and her ears are sticking up out of it. That's how these pigs maintain their comfortable temperatures. Now, the first thing we did this morning when we fed was give some cold, fresh water to their waters. That cools everything down from that ambient temperature that it was overnight of about 70 some degrees, 75 degrees. Cool it on down, let them get a nice cold drink. Because just like us, we need a nice cold drink once in a while in order to cool down. Now Rosie, y'all, I just showed you her. She was nursing the babies, actually finishing up. But whenever she's doing that, I try not to make a whole lot of noise around her. Just don't want to startle her. She's doing really good. She shuffles her feet instead of picking them up. Whenever she's moving around inside that farrowing barn, she has really learned to be a good mother on this litter. But y'all, what we'll do for her, first thing again in the morning, put some cold water in her drinker and splash a little bit down there on the floor, because she likes to lay and put her head in it to help cool her off. When she is not nursing these babies or using the bathroom, she's laying down. And that's what a sow's going to do. That's actually what most of them are going to do through the day, to try and stay cool. But we can actually, we'll come down here when it gets really hot, and we can actually mist her with a cool water from the tap in a spray bottle. We usually spray them on the legs and on the sides. Don't usually put cold water straight on top of their back, and the reason for that, if you notice, when they're out here laying in the wallers, they're not really submerging their top line. They're laying on their side, they're wallering around, laying on their tummy. Those are the areas that they try to stay in there and keep cool. And so that's what we try to do, just mimic what they already do naturally. Now y'all, for the chicks that we have in the brooder, even though it's going to be really hot, we keep a lamp on in one corner up here on the top, and it's a 250-degree bulb, and it's only in one corner. This brooder's big enough they can get away from that heat when they don't need it. And y'all, when it gets up to about 100 degrees, we'll unplug that thing completely. They don't need it any warmer than that. And this metal building, it'll hold the heat. But one way that we combat the heat inside of this is we've got an old box fan hung up, and it's taking out hottest air from up top and exhausting it outside. And that makes it actually tolerable inside of this building, coupled with the shade that's outside and a slight breeze, to be able to come in here and actually do some work on the workbenches and things of that nature. And y'all, we came in here first thing this morning and went ahead and emptied out their drinking water and filled it up with cold tap water again, so that they'll have nice cool water to start the day off with. And if it gets real hot, we'll bring some ice cubes down and do that for them. But usually with the biddies, just cool water straight out the tap, even if you got to change it a couple of times during the day. That seems to work pretty good. Now y'all, when it comes to our laying hens or our breeding group, also laying hens that we have up in another tractor I'll show you in a minute, when it gets really hot during the day, Lisa keeps frozen treats in the freezers for them. Frozen fruit. I don't know why the word escaped me there. Frozen fruit. She'll keep a little bit of fruit that might have gone a little bit too far. Watermelon, cantaloupe, things like that. She'll freeze them up, and when it gets really hot, she'll bring them out, scatter them for the birds, and they love gobbling those things up and cooling them off. And y'all, we also bring out and change their water with cold water when we need to, straight from the tap, because it's about 60 degrees. And if it's really bad, we can bring ice cubes out, put into their drinking water, chill it on down even more. You'd be surprised when a bird's hot, they'll suck down some of that cold water and help them to regulate their temperature. Y'all, these golden friars are just what we had hoped they would be. After about a year's worth of research, and then putting together the different breeds that we wanted to cross up to get this particular chicken, y'all, it's working out great. I've actually heard some people say, well, why not just buy the grocery store chicken that's raised in the commercial chicken industry? Well, we did for years, y'all, and we even raised them when we were younger, but that's not what we want here. We like independence. We like freedom. We like non-conformity. As you can tell, we live way back in the woods. Not many people come down our driveway. And that's a good thing, y'all. And that's how we like it. We like our privacy. We like our freedom. We like crossing up birds if we want to. And, you know, fortunately, all it takes is a little bit of common sense when you're raising animals like this. If you see that an animal's too hot, do something. Do something to make it better for them. Whether it is putting them fresh, clean, cool water in their drinkers, or raising some curtains, or seeing that they're having trouble and maybe you need to go ahead and process a day or two sooner than you had planned on so you don't lose them. But y'all, these are healthy birds. Very healthy birds to have been surviving through this high heat and humidity. And look, they're jumping and flying around, y'all. Take me in a commercial farm and show me those birds flying around. I ain't gonna do it. And y'all, I ain't knocking anybody that raises the same kind of bird you can get in a store at home. It's America, y'all. Raise what you want to raise. I won't tell you how to raise it. I'll just tell you how we raise it. Y'all can do what you want to do. You know, that's the good thing about living in America thus far, is you can still, for the most part, do things the way you want to do. And I'm not knocking the commercial industry. I've got family, that's their livelihood. They work in the commercial industry, in the poultry industry. And you know, they do the best they can with what they have, and they work hard. And those folks working in there cleaning all those birds are working hard too. The producers out there tying up their investment and making the least amount of money versus the process company, the company that owns the birds, you know, they're working hard just to scratch out a living. So I do not knock those at all. We just choose to do this here at home because this is what we like to do, y'all. Y'all, I just want to be that little guy that's left alone and gets to live how they want to, good and clean, honoring God in the things they do, or trying to the best you can, and raising some good food the way my ancestors did. That's all we're doing here, y'all. Reliving part of our childhood, trying to bring back some things that are gone, and holding on to some family tradition. And y'all, ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, y'all, this is our hottest coop. It gets about a half a day of sunshine, the evening sun, the hottest sun. And so we've got the curtains pulled up on it. It's got a double tarp system on it, if you want to call it a system. It's just 2 tarps, and we roll them up under so that when we do get a thunder boomer, it's not grabbing all that water and making any stress on the structure. But y'all, if you'll notice, they're high and dry. Even when it comes a bad storm, they're not getting wet. It's another thing, keep your chickens dry. If you're raising them outside, let's say it's 100 degrees and it comes a thunderstorm, now you've added, and you don't have any good shelter for them. Now you've added all that moisture onto them. Think about yourself. If you've ever been out in a bad thunderstorm, got soaking wet, sun pops back out, it's extremely high humidity, you feel like you can barely breathe, you feel like you're 10 times hotter than you are. Same thing with animals, y'all. Just a little bit of common sense will go a long ways when it comes to taking care of these animals. All right, y'all, appreciate you hanging out with us today at the Piney Woods Homestead just for a couple of minutes as we talked about some animal welfare, keeping your hogs, chickens, or whatever critters you're growing on your homestead cool when it's extremely hot and humid. And y'all, I think these roosters are happy because they're crowing. It sounds like they're happy to me, and I'm happy. I'm happy with what I'm doing right here. It's fun. It's rewarding. It's a sense of freedom. Y'all, we love doing it. And we love sharing it with you. And we hope we're a blessing to you. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you hadn't, and if you have, y'all, we appreciate you. We appreciate you watching. That helps us out. Share it with your family and friends and on your other social media accounts if you have them. Share it. That'll help us out a whole lot here, y'all. We appreciate you. Y'all have a good day.